Hai, Assalamualaikum. Bertemu kembali dalam rancangan Bisnes Alternatif. Kali ini, episod ini agak istimewa kerana kami membuat rakaman dari Shangri-La kerana minggu ini berlangsungnya Digital Media Asia 2012 yang dianjurkan oleh WAN-IFRA. Okey, dan bersama-sama dengan saya pada hari ini ialah Dr. Stig Nordqvist dan kita akan membincangkan tentang monetization news. Bagaimana news itu boleh digunakan untuk membuat duit. Okey, dan Dr. Nordqvist, hello, thank you for being with us in Business Alternative.
Thank you.
It's an honor to have you here.
It's my honor.
All right. Okay. Now you're also the Executive Director of Publishing Digital of WAN-IFRA. Okay. Now previously in the what do you call that? In the conference, you talk about monetization of news. Okay. News is a commodity. Why do you have to charge it? Because obviously you can get it for free.
Yeah, free news is like the concept that you think that everything is free.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of news is free out there. You know, the latest kind of thing about a weather crisis or a war. But actually, most of the work that's been done by media companies, TV, radio, or newspapers, is actually done through investigative kind of reporting. Kind of stories. You search for a month for something through a company or something, and it's really not. It's not breaking free news. So it's really something
it's
you
really
work.
Not, it is
yeah,
free.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's you have both free news and also really good stories.
Now, we're talking specifically about digital content, right? Okay. What is paid content? How does it differ from the ones that you get it for free?
It's like food or whatever, you know.
Right.
Yeah, you hopefully have water almost for free and some, basic rice and stuff like that.
Right.
But if you really want to have a nice experience, eating some good sushi or eating some good food, you actually pay for that, a little bit premium.
Now you're talking about experience. Okay. Yeah. How do you see paid content can actually emphasize, can enhance the experience of the readers, the publishers, and also the manufacturers?
Yeah, so you read your story on an iPad or a smartphone. If you really want the full story or the stories around it, the experience around it, then you might be interested to pay extra. And that's the basic with what you do in iTunes or with movies, TV series. Right. You know, you read a little bit, advertising paid, but then you want to skip and just read the full story, be part of some kind of plus kind of community. Then it's a good way to do that. Right.
Can you please explain us a little bit more in what way that this kind of experience they can get extra as compared to the ones that they get for free? If TV you pay extra, you can get HD TV, high definition TV. Okay, in terms of paid digital content, how is that?
Yeah, okay.
In what way?
If you compare that, I could say with you pay extra to get the iPad HD version of your print newspaper. But if you go a bit further, I think one Scandinavian newspaper called Aftonbladet, they already introduced 10 years ago something they called the plus concept. So a few stories were marked with a plus, not say paywall, but say plus. This is a so good story, so actually I must read that story about a celebrity, something he or she did the day before, and this newspaper only tell the true story why he or she smashed that car. Or another story could be in Sweden, where I come from, we have horrible winters, so you need to change tire to spiked tires. And that newspaper tests the best 10 tires. So just paying for that story makes me want to save money for that. So there's a lot of examples.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Now, in your opinion, if those publishers they are taking one step ahead from free content to a paid content, what do you think is the best business model that they should apply? Is it what kind of business, a digital strategy that they should that involved?
Yeah, so I'm very boring in that because every newspaper.
Because I'm sure a lot of publishers would want to know, the best business model.
But I think we have done now web for 20 years.
Right.
You know, January 23rd next year, the World Wide Web with Mosaic turns 20.
Right.
For me, it's like we going into not one model, but you have 5 models to choose from. So it depends on your culture, your newspaper.
5 models?
Yeah, you have everything from free, which is not free, it's advertising paid, up to what the Times with Murdoch in UK, they're doing a full paywall. You know, it's a blank wall, you have to register to come in. And in between you have like New York Times, the metered, you have freemium, so you have a few to choose from and adopt to your company and your audience.
Now, we'll be talking more about these 5 business models in paid contents. But after this, in Business Alternatif, we're taking a short break. Jangan ke mana-mana. Bertemu kembali di Bisnes Alternatif, kita mengatakan tentang monetization of news dan berlangsung di Shangri-La di mana kita mengadakan Digital Media Asia 2012 anjuran WAN-IFRA. Dan bersama-sama dengan saya ialah Mr. Stig Nordqvist berkatakan tentang monetization news. Alright, Doctor, previously we talked about the business model in paid content. You mentioned there's actually 5 business model, but basically there's actually 2. Can you please explain more about the business model for paid content?
I mean, what we're looking at is metered or freemium, it's called. Metered is what New York Times is pushing, and I think most of the industry and consumers have heard about that.
I see.
And metered is basically that you get maybe 3 stories for free or 5 in a month. At some point it says, please register. And maybe at the next step, you're also, okay, to read more, you have to pay kind of a subscription fee for a monthly usage.
I see. Okay, if I were to venture into a paid content business model, which business model should I choose? Should I choose for metered or premium?
Yeah, the freemium, the second one that I think is quite interesting, is what this kind of Scandinavian approach, or there are some other, where you have a extra plus stories, you know, the stories you want to read about a celebrity or some tire test or whatever, camera test. So it depends really what your soul of your publication are.
I see.
So New York Times, I think they compel a very loyal audience that want to read a lot of stories, opinion pieces every month. They know they want to be, you know, getting back. So then you go for this kind of one. But most websites, they have like 3 categories of users. We call them fly buyers.
Fly buyers.
Yeah,
okay.
That's one extremes. They come a few times every month.
I see.
And then you have the other side, which is the loyal users. They might come, you know, 30 up to 300 times every month.
Again, it depends on the readers and also the culture of your publication.
Yeah, the passion and the kind of ideas. So if you're a kind of gadget site that do these kind of tests or whatever it can be, then maybe the freemium would be better for them, because then you have a few extra stories that really are, you know, this is somebody else will not do it. Just, you know,
just you.
Yeah,
just
and then
exclusively
I can
for you.
Yeah.
Okay, now if I could go back to the paid content, okay, there's a perspective saying that moving from free content to paid content, you are actually murdering your publication. So basically, how are you going to counter that perspective, and how can they profit and how can they sustain their business through paid content?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but nothing is free in this world. So when we talk about free, it's advertising paid.
It's air.
Yeah, no, yeah, almost. We have to pay tax to get it cleaner, you know. So I mean, free is equal to advertising paid. So that means that you have to have a lot of advertisement to boost your business, because nobody will pay for a business, you have no people to work with you. So I think it's just a way to get a balance between, as always, being a good mix, advertisement and subscription. And we see that in every kind of industry, music, books, with Amazon, for example, in USA, movies, TV shows, everything is coming to bits that either you want a convenient subscription, you know, you're partnering with this kind of TV show or cable package or whatever, or you want to buy bits like iTunes songs or something. So I think it's not right to say right or wrong. Either you're a Spotify music person, you know, you don't know what to buy, or you really want to collect the songs and you go to iTunes and buy bit by bit, song by song, you know.
So basically, you are actually sustaining and profiting from the business if you venture into paid content. Right. Okay. Now, what do you think is the main concerns from users, especially? How much are they willing to pay for paid content? In your opinion?
I think it's a big shift right now. It's a big shift right now, because we used to focus on buying a computer, internet connection, a mobile phone, a subscription plan.
And now?
Now we're shifting from devices becoming cheaper, flat, maybe not flat fees, but bumpy fees. You get, you know, 1 gig per month or whatever. So you care less about the technology you're buying. It becomes more and more transparent, and that's the evolution. Prices go down. What you're going to shift my kids.
It's the quality of the content that you're getting.
The content you buy.
The quality of the content that you're getting, yes.
Or news or movies or whatever. So I think it's a more fun future. Instead of focusing on which device is coolest, it's about which game is coolest, which TV show or what kind of news you have read.
Right. Okay. Last but not least, your hopes for those for the publications who would want to take step ahead, you know, going to paid content business.
Experiment.
That's what. Experiment.
So,
dare to experiment.
Yeah. And that's not just the media industry, but it's a challenge for everyone to start experiment, not to launch the super best product. Let maybe Amazon or Apple do that because they have the money to do it. But the rest of us that try to do, you know, like a game, like you know, whatever on the app, you don't do it perfectly. You just hope it's good enough, and then you release a version 2. I think that's the same thing. You have to go out there, listen to the consumers, and see their reaction, and then just go ahead.
Dare to experiment. Mr. Stig Nordqvist, thank you for being with us. It's very, very informative and very interesting what you have explained to us. I'm very honoured to have you in our show. Okey, baiklah, itu sahaja masa yang kita ada di Bisnes Alternatif. Sebelum saya akhiri, apa kata kita lihat dahulu kod ini. Itu sahaja di Bisnes Alternatif. Saksikan episod seterusnya dalam Digital Media Asia 2012. Jumpa lagi. Bye dan Assalamualaikum.